Today class is hello, hi, good morning to our. Today class is about Rickettsiaceae. The family Rickettsiaceae consists of two two familials. The two familials are one is Rickettsiaceae, another one is Anaplasmatiaceae. In the family Rickettsiaceae, again three genera are mainly come under this Rickettsiaceae. The out of those three, two are pathogenic, most pathogenic. The two are one is Rickettsia, another one is Aurantia. Now come to Anaplasmatiaceae. It includes four genera: Ehrlichia, Norbertia, Anaplasma, and Neoricketsia. These four members, such as Coxilla and Bartonella, are now excluded from the family Rickettsia because Coxilla is not an arthropod-borne infection. It is transmitted by inhalation mode. Bartonella, it is not an obligate intracellular parasite. It is capable of growing on cell-free media. Today we'll cover these: introduction, classification, Rickettsia, morphology, culture, animal inoculation, resistance, antigen structure, pathogenesis, laboratory diagnosis, treatment, and prophylaxis. We will look after these things. Now, introduction. In smears from infected tissues, Rickettsia appears as pleomorphic cocobacillary forms, pleomorphic rods, gram-negative cocobacillary forms. It is an obligate intracellular parasite. These are gram-negative pleomorphic rods. They are transmitted by arthropod vectors such as fleas, lice, ticks, and mites. They are not cultivable in artificial media. These are not cultivable in artificial media, although they can grow in cell lines or animal inoculation or egg inoculation. Okay. Rickettsia. These rickettsial infection and related infections, Ehrlichiosis, Q fever, are caused by an unusual type of bacteria that can live only inside the cells of another organism. Most of the infection spread by bite or inhalation mode or by scratching or rubbing through fleas, mites, lice, ticks, etc. Despite the similar name Rickettsia, bacteria do not cause rickets. These rickets, it results vitamin D deficiency. There is no comparison of Rickettsia and rickets. Rickets is a vitamin D deficiency. In the past, positioned somewhere between viruses and true bacteria. Yeah, true bacteria. In vertebrates, including humans, they infect vascular endothelium and reticuloendothelial cells. They infect mainly vascular endothelium and reticuloendothelial cells. Rickettsiaceae were formerly considered closely related to various viruses because of obligate intracellular parasitism and inability to grow in cell-free cultures. Already I told this point before. It is now clear that they are true bacteria. Now, history. Now we are looking to history. The great person Howard Taylor Ricketts discovered this rickettsia. By that name, Howard Taylor Ricketts, the rickettsia name came. Who studied Rocky Mountain spotted fever in Betrot Valley of Montana. This great scientist Ricketts was devoted to his research and on several occasions and injected himself with pathogens to study their effects. He himself injected the bacteria, rickettsia. In 1906 to 10, Ricketts became interested in strain of typhus known as Tabardillo due to a major outbreak in Mexico City. Days after isolating the organism that he believed caused typhus, he himself died of the disease typhus. Now, characters similar to bacteria means rickettsia versus viruses, bacteria versus viruses. These contain both DNA and RNA. Cell wall made up of peptidoglycan. They possess ribosomes for protein synthesis and enzymes. It mainly multiply by binary fission. These are gram-negative pleomorphic rods. Cell wall contain muramic acid. They are large enough to be seen under light microscope, susceptible to antibiotics, and backed by bacterial agents. Now we will look after classification. Already I told this classification. Rickettsiaceae contain, the family Rickettsiaceae contains 3 genera. Out of these 3 genera, 2 are most pathogenic. More pathogenic, they are Rickettsia and Aurantia. Rickettsia and Aurantia. Rickettsia contains the agents causing typhus fever and spotted fever. Scrub typhus is caused by Aurantia shushugamushi. Scrub typhus. It is caused by Aurantia shushugamushi. Here the vector is mite. The vertebra reservoir is small rodents. Coxilla. Coxilla is the causative agent of Q fever. Q fever. Coxilla is named after Cox, who first isolated the agent. It can be cultivated in yolk sac inoculation for isolation. In yolk sac, 2 bacteria can be cultivated. One is Rickettsia, another one is Chlamydia. Coxilla differ from Rickettsia being smaller, more resistant to physical and chemical agents, and transmissible without arthropod vectors. I already said this point. Coxilla is not an arthropod-borne infection. It is transmitted by inhalation mode. Ehrlichia are a group of intraleukocytic rickettsia that infects humans and as well as animals under this genus. First this genus isolated in Japan. Now, rickettsial species and its diseases. The genus Rickettsia agents, one is, these all comes under Rickettsia group. In this typhus group, it produces epidemic typhus, Brilginser disease, and another one endemic typhus. First, the species Rickettsia provaziki. The disease called is epidemic typhus and Brilginser disease. These two were number Rickettsia provaziki. The reservoir is human body loss. The vertebra reservoir is human beings. Distribution, worldwide distribution. Okay, Africa, South America, and worldwide distribution. For this, clinical symptoms, rash will appear 80% all over the body, except palm and sole. Scar means the bite of infected area, mite or flea, anything. Here body loss. There is no scar is seen here. Next, Rickettsia typhi is called endemic typhus. Vector is rat flea. Here, the vertebra reservoir is rat, by the bite of rat. Rashes, 80% rashes will be 80% rashes will be seen on mainly trunk area. Then come to, these all will comes under group typhus group. Another one from Rocky Mountain spotted fever group. These all comes under group spotted fever group. Rickettsia provaziki and Rickettsia typhi, these comes under group typhus group. Typhus. From Rickettsia conori, Rickettsia australis, Rickettsia seberica, and Rickettsia akari. These all comes under spotted fever group. These are, see, in spotted fever group, the reservoir all are ticks except species Rickettsia akari. It causes rickettsial pox and the vector is here mite. All other spotted fever groups are reservoir, vector. Vector is ticks except Rickettsia akari, the vector is mite. This Rickettsia akari mainly attacks on monocytes. In USA, these akari mites distribution all over USA, Turkey, Mexico, Ukraine. Here, the vertebra reservoir is mite. A mouse. 100% viscular rash will be seen. For Rickettsia conori, 97% vascular rash will be seen. For rickettsial rickettsy, 90% extremities like trunk. On trunk, we will see about 90% rash, and these are more hemorrhagic compared to Rickettsia typhi. Now we will look after next rickettsia. Now rickettsia morphology. Now we are going to first rickettsia. Rickettsia are pleomorphic small cocobacilli, varies 0.3 to 0.6 micrometers and 0.8 to 0.8 to 2 micrometers. Non-motile. These are non-motile, non-capsulated, and gram-negative. Even though these are gram-negative, they don't stain with this gram stain. The organism stains bluish purple with Giemsa stain and Castaneda stain. And with the Giemsa stain, the organism stain red color, bright red color or deep red color with Giemsa stain. These organisms, rickettsia, electron microscopy revealed a 3-layered cell wall and trilaminar plasma membrane resembling gram-negative bacteria. Rickettsia prowazekii has an amorphous capsule. See, amorphous capsule will be seen. Amorphous means without clearly defined shape or form. Culture. Rickettsia. Now we will look onto culture. These rickettsia are unable to grow in cell-free media. They are cultivated in yolk sac of chick embryo. I told already. In chick embryo egg inoculation, they can cultivated bacteria or chlamydia and rickettsia. Optimum temperature for growth is 32 to 35 degrees centigrade. They can also grow on HeLa, mouse fibroblast, hepatocells, Detroit 6, and other continuous cell lines. You will look after the in virology, tissue culture. While you look after the tissue culture, then you are know these cell lines, how to cultivate. Tissue cultures are not satisfactory for primary isolation from patient. Growth occurs in the cytoplasm of infected cells. Growth occurs in the cytoplasm of infected cells. But here one point. For spotted fever growth, those growth may takes place in infected cells, takes place in both cytoplasm and nucleus. They may also be propagated in arthropods because these all are arthropod-borne infections. Animal inoculation. Here, for animal inoculation, laboratory animals like mice and guinea pigs are useful for primary isolation of rickettsia from clinical material. For serology purpose like that, blood specimen. For isolation, we will do infected tissue. Primary isolation of rickettsia from clinical material. Resistance. These rickettsia are destroyed at 56 degrees centigrade at room temperature when separated from host components. They become non-infectious with 1% Lysol, 2% formaldehyde, 5% hydrogen peroxide, and 70% ethanol and hypochlorite solution. These are all available in lab. They are susceptible to tetracycline and chloramphenicol. They are susceptible to tetracycline and chloramphenicol. Now look to antigenic structure. Rickettsia possesses three types of antigens. One is group specific soluble antigen. It is present on surface cell antigen of rickettsia. The specific outer membrane protein. In this, antigen induce synthesis of protective antibodies, can be used for vaccine production as well as for diagnosis. It will be those. And this specific outer membrane protein produces two. One is OMPA, outer membrane protein A, and another one outer membrane protein B. Outer membrane protein A present only in spotted fever group. Outer membrane protein B will be present in spotted fever group and typhus fever group, as well as spotted fever group and typhus fever group. This outer membrane protein A is coded by SCA5 gene. This outer membrane protein B is coded as SCA4 gene. Another one, another antigen, species specific antigen associated with bodies of rickettsia. In case of scrub typhus, it is strain specific. Another one, alkali stable polysaccharide antigen. It is found in some rickettsia and is shared by certain strains of Proteus. The sharing of antigens between rickettsia and Proteus forms the basis for Weil-Felix reaction used for diagnosis of rickettsia infection. These are non-motile strains, Proteus vulgaris and Proteus mirabilis. Here, Proteus vulgaris strains are OX2 and OX19. Proteus species, Proteus mirabilis strains are OXK strain. Pathogenesis. It is transmitted to humans by the bite or by the feces of an infected arthropod vectors. By how it enters to body, by rubbing or scratching abraded skin or mucosa contaminated by this body loss feces or inhalation of dried feces. In this way, it will transmit. On entry into the human body, they multiply locally and enter into the bloodstream. Entry into the human body by these types, anyway, route of inoculation. I said already, by rubbing or scratching. Mucosa contaminated by loss, feces, or by inhalation mode, dried feces of body loss. The organism becomes localized in the vascular endothelial cells, which they enlarge, degenerate, and cause thrombosis of vessels, leading to rupture, and finally necrosis will be seen. Vessels leading to rupture and necrosis will be seen. Two types of toxicity will produce. They possess endotoxin and another one, second toxin. First toxicity, it kills mice, and this endotoxin neutralized by antiserum. The second toxicity is hemolysis of sheep, rabbit red blood cells. First kills mice and endotoxic, neutralized by antiserum. The second toxicity, hemolysis of sheep and rabbit. Here. Diseases. Diseases caused by rickettsia include typhus fever group and spotted fever group. I told in typhus fever group, we will see the species of rickettsia prowazekii. Prowazekii, the disease it causes is epidemic typhus and Brilginser disease. This group consists of epidemic typhus and its recrudescent infection, Brilginser disease, and endemic typhus. It is murine typhus. Murine typhus. Endemic typhus. Now look after epidemic typhus. This epidemic typhus is a classical typhus. It is also called as classical typhus. It is mainly by human body loose born epidemic typhus, and it is the most important of all rickettsial infection. The causative organism is Rickettsia prowazekii. Here vector, body loss. Vertebra reservoir is human beings. Rashes will be seen 80%. Rashes will be seen all over the body except palms and sole. Human body loss. Name is Pedicellus humanus corporis is the vector. Vector name is Pedicellus humanus corporis. The head loss, Pedicellus humanus captis, may also transmit the infection. The lice become infected by ingesting the blood from a rickettsia patient. The organism multiply in the gut and appear in the feces after 3 to 5 days. Incubation period is 1 to 2 weeks. Lice defecate means here nothing but discharges feces from the body loss. Lice defecate means discharges feces from the body loss. While feeding and scratches by the host produce minute abrasions which act as portal entry of the rickettsia present in the loss feces. The incubation period is 1 to 2 weeks. Patient develops severe headache. Symptoms that are patient develop severe headache, chills, generalized myalgia, high fever, 39 to 41 degrees centigrade, and vomiting will be common in this case. A macular rash appears 4 to 7 days. I told already, rash will be seen. 80% rash will be seen except on sole and palm. Here, a macular rash appears on 4 to 7 days after the onset of illness. The macular rash appears first on the trunk and then spread to limbs. First, it will be seen on trunk, and next it spreads to limbs. During the second week of illness, the patient develops cloudy state of consciousness. Cloudy state of consciousness. Typhus meaning smoke or cloud. The disease occurs mainly in Eastern Europe, Northern and Eastern Africa. In India, the disease occurs in Kashmir. Mortality rate varies from 20 to 30 in untreated cases. Look at this picture. First trunk and then it passes to limbs. Per or lobe. Here body. Look at this picture, like rashes will be appear. The vector is body lobes. Now come to one you already over, epidemic typhus. Epidemic typhus. There is no difference between epidemic typhus and Brill-Zinsser disease. Brill-Zinsser disease is a recrudescent typhus. Means those patients recover from epidemic typhus, the rickettsia may remain latent in the lymphatic tissues or organ for years. Once recovered from epidemic typhus, again the infection may see. It will be in hidden stage. Such latent infection may be reactivated, leading to recrudescent typhus, named as Brill-Zinsser disease. Brill in 1898 noticed the disease, and Zinsser 1934 isolated this Rickettsia prowazekii from such cases. Brill-Zinsser disease is milder illness and the duration of the disease is very short time. Case fatality is lower. For which patients it will come? Already epidemic typhus is cured from that epidemic typhus and remain in latent state and lymphatic tissues or organs for years, and again latent infection may be seen in lymphatic tissue or organs. It comes as reactivated, leading to recrudescent typhus. Waning of immunity patients, mainly this Brill-Zinsser disease takes place. Case fatality is lower. Now come to endemic typhus. The typhus group, there are species Rickettsia prowazekii and Rickettsia typhi or Musari. This one, typhus fever group, epidemic typhus, classical typhus, and Brill-Zinsser disease, recrudescent typhus, and now endemic typhus. It is a murine typhus. It is also called as murine typhus. It is also called as murine typhus. The disease is caused by Rickettsia musari or Rickettsia typhi. It is milder disease than epidemic typhus. Here, rat act as vector, rat flea act as vector, and vertebra reservoir is rat. Vector is rat flea. Name Xenophila chiopis. Xenophila chiopis. Infection is transmitted in rats by rat flea, by the bite or the rickettsia multiply in the gut of rat flea or shed in its feces. The flea is unaffected and remains infectious for the rest of its life. The flea is unaffected and remains infectious for the rest of its life. Endemic typhus. It transmitted by inoculation on skin by bite of rat flea or inoculation of flea dried feces will usually seen. Transmission occurs by. Man acquires infection accidentally through the bite of infected fleas or by recently contaminated food with infected rat urine or flea feces, dried flea feces. Human infection is a dead end as man-to-man transmission does not occur, usually not seen. The disease is worldwide in distribution, but significant in Mexico. In Kashmir and China, lice have been known to transmit murine typhus in man body. Rickettsia mosaici infection gives immunity to both endemic and epidemic typhus. Now we will look after Rickettsia mosaici can be differentiated from Rickettsia prowazekii by the following tests. Which is difference between epidemic typhus and endemic typhus. How we will differentiate? Neal-Moser reaction or Tunica reaction. This is one test. It is done when male guinea pigs are injected intraperitoneally with blood from a case of endemic typhus or with a culture of Rickettsia mosaici or Rickettsia typhi. These will develop in the guinea pig fever and characteristic scrotal inflammation will be seen. Scrotal inflammation will be seen and fever will be observed. The scrotum becomes enlarged and the testis cannot be pushed back into the abdomen because of the adhesions due to inflammation between the layers of tunica vaginalis. Inflammation between the layers of tunica vaginalis. This is known as Neal-Moser reaction. This reaction is negative in epidemic typhus. This reaction will be negative in epidemic typhus. Epidemic typhus caused by disease, caused by the species Rickettsia prowazekii. Epidemic typhus caused by the species Rickettsia prowazekii. Neal-Moser reaction or Tunica reaction can be in endemic typhus caused by the species Rickettsia typhi or mosaici. And it is also can be differentiated by indirect fluorescent antibody techniques, ELISA and PCR. PCR mainly for detecting gene encoding. Now come to spotted fever group. Now we finish typhus group. Typhus group species are Rickettsia prowazekii, Rickettsia typhi or mosaici. And now come to spotted fever group. In this spotted fever group, there are Rickettsia rickettsii, Rickettsia conii, species are Rickettsia rickettsii, Rickettsia conii, Rickettsia africae, and Rickettsia acari. Rickettsia acari. Rickettsia of this group possess a common soluble antigen and multiply in both the nucleus and cytoplasm of host cells. In that typhus group, only in cytoplasm. In the spotted fever group, both it multiplies in cytoplasm as well as nucleus of host cells. They are transmitted by ticks, except Rickettsia acari, in which the mite is vector. All other species, the vector is ticks. 6 species have been recognized in this group. The diseases include Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever Group, RMSF, Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever Group, and Indian Mediterranean, Indian Mediterranean, Kenyan, and South African tick typhus produces Botanytis fever, and Queensland tick typhus produces Australian tick typhus. Siberian tick typhus and rickettsial pox is usually seen. The rickettsy, other species are Rickettsia rickettsii, Rickettsia conuri, Rickettsia australis, Rickettsia siberica, and Rickettsia acari are responsible for these diseases. Except Rickettsia acari, mite is the vector. All other ticks are the vector. Now come to Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever Group. Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever Group. It is the most serious type of spotted fever group. It is the most serious type of spotted fever group. In this, Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever Group is the most serious type. Positive agents is Rickettsia rickettsii. Rickettsia rickettsii. The vector is tick, and the vertebral reservoir is rabbit, small rodents, dog, cattle, etc. The incubation period is about 1 week. Clinical picture is similar to that of typhus fever, but the rash appears earlier and is more pronounced. Already I told. As Rickettsia prowazekii, rash will be seen. There 80% of the rash will be seen and all over the body except palms and soles. Here 90% extremities will be seen and trunk will be more hemorrhage. Trunk, and these are more hemorrhaging. On trunk it will be seen these rashes, 90% of rashes. Clinical picture is similar to that of typhus fever, but the rash appears earlier and is more pronounced. Other tick-borne diseases. The Siberian tick typhus is mild rickettsial disease caused by Rickettsia severica. Botanytis fever is caused by Rickettsia conuri, and Australian tick typhus by Rickettsia australis. All these 3 rickettsia are maintained in nature by exodoid ticks. Humans are accidentally enter the natural cycle. Diseases produced by these rickettsia resemble Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever, but are milder form. A black spot having a necrotic center, a scar, is present at the site of tick bite. Tick bite. It will become a dead skin there. Tick bite. Now come to Rickettsia pox. This is benign febrile disease carried from mouse to man by a mite and produces a scalar rash. Scalar rats. It is caused by Rickettsia acari. It's called rickettsial pox. It is caused by Rickettsia acari. Benign febrile disease carried from mouse to man by the bite and produces a vascular rash. The reservoir of infection is domestic mouse and the vector is the mite here, which trans-ovarian transmission occurs usually. The disease is self-limiting, non-fatal, and resembles chickenpox. The disease is self-limiting, non-fatal, and resemble chickenpox. Now come to laboratory diagnosis. Laboratory diagnosis carried out by two ways. One is isolation of rickettsia, another one serology. Isolation of rickettsia, as rickettsia are highly infectious, their isolation should be attempted only in laboratories equipped with appropriate safety provisions because these are highly infectious, sometimes fatal. Fatality rate is more. Blood clot ground in skimmed milk is inoculated intraperitoneally into male guinea pigs or mice. Guinea pigs will be used for cultivation of this rickettsia, whereas Orentia, instead of guinea pigs, mice will be used. The inoculated animals are observed for 3 to 4 weeks. Mainly, temperature of animals are recorded daily. Temperatures of these inoculated animals, temperatures will be recorded daily. The response of animals to different rickettsial infections vary. The response of animals to different rickettsial infections vary. In Rocky Mountain spotted fever group, guinea pigs develop fever will be usually seen, scrotal necrosis will be seen, and may even die due to overwhelming infection. Whereas in Rickettsia musari, in endemic typhus disease, this is Rocky Mountain spotted fever group, means spotted Rickettsia conuri or Rickettsia rickettsii here, first one. Second one in Rickettsia musari, conuri and Akari infection, the guinea pigs develop fever and inflammation of tunica as an analysis. In Rickettsia prowazekii infection means first one, typhus group here. In Rocky Mountain means spotted fever group. In rickettsii here. Guinea pigs develop fever, scrotal necrosis, and may even die to overwhelming infection. In Rickettsia musari, conuri, and Akari infection, the guinea pigs develop fever and inflammation of tunica as an analysis. In Rickettsia prowazekii infection, the animals develop fever without any testicular inflammation. Develop fever only. Without any testicular inflammation will not be seen in Rickettsia prowazekii infection. Group is typhus group. Disease, epidemic typhus and Brillinger disease. For demonstration of rickettsia, smears from peritoneum, tunica, and spleen of infected animals may be stained by Giemsa or Giemsange methods. In Giemsa stain, we will look after bluish purple color will be seen in microscope. It is not usually ordinary microscope, electron microscope, 3-layer will be seen. In Giemsange methods, deep red color will be observed in Giemsange method state. Rickettsia can also be grown in the yolk sac of chicken embryo and tissue cultures, but these are not suitable for primary isolation. Now come to serology. Wheel-Phillips reaction or by specific test using rickettsial antigen. Wheel-Phillips reaction. It is a heterophile agglutination test which detects anti-rickettsial antibodies that cross-react with certain non-motile protease strains. Those are OX19, OX2, and OXK. The basis of the test is sharing of an alkali stable carbohydrate antigen of some rickettsia with non-motile protease strains. Those are Proteus vulgaris, species are Proteus vulgaris and Proteus mirabilis. Proteus vulgaris strains are OX19 and OX2. Proteus mirabilis non-motile strain are OXK. The protease organisms are used as antigens here. anti-rickettsial antibodies that cross-react with non-motile protease strains. These are used as antigens here. Sera from patients with epidemic and endemic typhus strongly agglutinates OX19 and sometimes OX2 also. Epidemic typhus and endemic typhus. Species are, the disease is epidemic typhus and endemic typhus. Species provide these produced are Rickettsia prowazekii and Rickettsia typhi or museri here. These typhus strongly agglutinates for OX19 and sometimes OX2 also. In Brill-Zinsser disease, the test is negative or weakly positive. Whereas in spotted fever group here, that is spotted fever group, the species are Rickettsial rickettsii, the disease is Rocky Mountain spotted fever group. Here, OX19 and OX2 are agglutinated, whereas OXK agglutinins are found only in scrub typhus. Scrub typhus is also one group, and the species is Orentia. Here the genus Orentia, species Orentia shushugamusi, causes disease scrub typhus. There, OXK agglutinins are found only in scrub typhus. All other in rickettsial typhus group or spotted fever group, OXK agglutinins are negative. The test is of no value in diagnosis of rickettsial pox. The agglutinin appears as early as 5 to 7 days and reach peak titers 1:1000 or 1:5000 by the end of the second week and declines rapidly during convalescence. Convalescence means recovery from illness. The test does not differentiate between epidemic and endemic typhus. It may be negative in 50% of scrub typhus cases. False positive reactions may also occur in infection by Proteus and Salmonella typhi. If you use Salmonella typhi antigens also, here sometimes false positive reactions may also occur. Hence, a rise in titer of antibodies is significant for diagnosis of rickettsial infection. Hence, a rise in titer of antibodies is significant for diagnosis of rickettsial infections. Here, look this table. Wheel-Felix reaction in diagnosis of rickettsial diseases. Diseases are epidemic typhus, Brill-Zinsser disease, endemic typhus, spotted fever group, scrub typhus, and rickettsial pox. Rickettsial pox disease is caused by Rickettsia acari. It is only vector mild. All other are takes. Endemic typhus, OX9 agglutinates and OX2 faintly positive and OXK there is no reaction. Brill-Zinsser disease faintly positive for OX19 and there is no OX2 agglutinates and OXK non-motile strain, mirabilis strain also. Endemic typhus positive for agglutination in OX19, faintly positive in OX2, and spotted fever group, it agglutinates in OX19 and OX2. There is no agglutinate in OXK. And scrub typhus only OXK, mirabilis strain. Rickettsial pox, there is no diagnosis for rickettsial. Specific tests using rickettsial antigens. Serological methods using rickettsial are specific, which include complement fixation test, lactic agglutination test, and enzyme immunoassay. Complement fixation test is most frequently employed serological method using rickettsial antigen. The test is done by using group-specific soluble antigen or the type-specific wash rickettsial antigen. The complement fixation test using type specific antigen helps to differentiate between epidemic typhus and endemic typhus. Differentiate complement fixation test specific antigen help to differentiate epidemic typhus and endemic typhus. Other serological tests are latex agglutination test is available for Rocky Mountain spotted fever group. It is positive only during an acute infection stage. Enzyme immunoassays with particulate extracted antigens have been used. Treatment: tetracycline or chloramphenicol are used for treatment. Doxycycline is the choice of. Okay. Prophylaxis come to general measure. Control of vectors and animal reservoirs are useful to prevent rickettsial disease. Vaccination: there is no safe effective vaccine for any of the rickettsial disease. A live vaccine containing attenuated yeast strains of Rickettsia prowazekii grown in yolk sac have been found to be effective, but a proportion of the vaccines develop mild disease. Formalin inactivated rickettsii has been used but does not prevent the disease completely. In earlier days, phenolized intestinal contents of lice infected per rectum with Rickettsia prowazekii Weigall's vaccine was developed. It was too complicated for mass production. This is our today class. Thank you. Thank you. Again, we will meet another class with Orantia and other Ehrlichia and Coxilla and Bottomilla. We will look after these in another class. Okay. Thank you.
Ini అయిపోయిందా